So let's look at why testosterone might be beginning to fall. The first one's inflammation, okay? So I have many shows on inflammation. We're not going to go do a deep dive on it today, but I want you to understand specifically the testes in the male body are prone to inflammation. And when those specific cells are inflamed, they start to decrease testosterone production. Plain and simple. Like, it's that easy. So are you inflamed? That's the question. Are you dealing with aches and pains? Are you dealing with autoimmune issues? Are you dealing with digestive issues? Are you dealing with viral load or toxicity in your body? If you are, that's the place to start, okay? So we want to look at inflammation. Have you done a functional medicine detox over the last quarter? You want to look at emptying that rain barrel. That's the first start, all right? The second one is, are you exercising? Are you strength training? Because if the answer is no, you're not going to be able to boost testosterone naturally, right? So you need to start strength training 2-3 times a week. Keep a day in between for right now, okay? So that's a big one, because strength training is going to help with growth hormone, and it's going to help with testosterone as well. Natural levels of testosterone. That's why it's both great for men and women, right? The testosterone matches your body. It doesn't overproduce testosterone. That's not going to happen. Normal strength training, 2 to 3 days a week. All right. The next one is this. What do your levels of cortisol look like? If you have high levels, chronically elevated levels of cortisol, it's going to be depleting your levels of testosterone. High levels of cortisol, it's an inverse relationship with fat and DHEA and testosterone. So again, same lab is going to give you the advice as to where you're at right now. The next I would say to you is sleep. If you are going to bed late and rising late, you are missing your opportunity for peak testosterone production in the morning, and you're missing your opportunity to produce more melatonin during the night. Get to bed by 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock at the very, very latest. Make sure that your eyes are shut and not exposed to bright light or any light in your bedroom from the hours of 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. at a minimum, those 5 hours, okay? That's the minimum. Because if you are not, your body's not going to get the proper signals for dopamine, the proper signals for thyroid, the proper signals for testosterone, and the proper signals for cortisol. Meaning cortisol should be quiet from 9 o'clock till about 4 o'clock in the morning. Thyroid's time should begin to rise in the morning. Melatonin should be high overnight. Testosterone is going to start to peak in the morning, same with DHEA. It's very important to look at how the human body works, how those hormones work. So again, this is crucial information that you should be working on before you ever think about using HRT or TRT. Now, the last part is this. There are specific supplements that you can begin to use and utilize in order to boost your testosterone naturally. And that's because if you're depleted, you can't make enough testosterone naturally. So daily foundational protocol, level 2 at a minimum. What is that? That's your all-in-one that includes all your B vitamins, all your activated vitamins. It contains your amino acids with protein. I'm not going to go too deep into it. It contains your omega-3s, your daily probiotic, your daily fruit and vegetable blend for your greens. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, that's what you're going to get. Now, on top of that, though, that's great. You want to be doing that. Every human should be doing that. Okay, so that's one. And I can't link that up. Honestly, the FDA does not allow me to do a podcast talking about health, believe it or not, and then link up nutritional supplements. I don't understand it, but anyway, it's always your choice, right? Like, you have a choice to use these things or not. You can go to, well, just go to equa.life. You can see exactly what I use in my practice. Choose to use it or not, because you can always use another brand, but see what I'm talking about. And you can just type in daily foundational protocol and you'll find exactly what I'm talking about. So equa.life. So equi.life. Now, the other part is the immunity protocol. And again, choose any company you want. That's not for me to tell you who to use. You can see exactly what I use myself and what I use in my practice. And then it's up to you to use whatever you'd like, but also the immunity protocol. Why the immunity protocol? And I talked about this in a previous podcast, and I will link up that show. So if you're not getting enough vitamin C, if you're not getting enough vitamin D, and you're not getting enough zinc, forget about making enough testosterone naturally. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Sure, you'll pull it off in your teenage years and your 20s, and then you'll start to decline after that. You've used up your your supplies, and you're not going to get enough for food. I mean, again, I do this every single day, 8 hours a day minimum every day. I look at people's diet. I plug it into my calculator that spits out the vitamins and the minerals and all these different things on a daily basis. There's nobody, including myself, that's basically hitting 100% in every category through food alone. It's just not happening. I wish it was the truth, but soil degradation, number of other issues, and the amount of stress on us just means we typically need more. But again, that's for you to decide. But I'll tell you this, you get enough vitamin C, you get enough zinc, you get enough vitamin D, it's going to help boost your testosterone naturally. The last one, and again, so those are the foundation. In the future, you may or may not need a little bit more magnesium, like a full spectrum magnesium in the evening with dinner or before bed. I like to use it before bed. That's how I do it, 2 to 3 capsules. Now, could you use a product like Adrenal Soothe? It's not enough time of the show today. My time is already up, but Adrenal Soothe, if you have high levels of cortisol, it's going to help you balance that at lunchtime and after dinner as well. So again, the way that you know though, is yes, stress levels, there's no doubt about all that, but you run a lab. It's the easiest and best way. So if you're able to, that's what I recommend. You get more of a personalized protocol with that. But that is the starting point. So again, you should not, in my opinion, again, I'm not giving disease diagnosis, I'm not giving treatment protocols, medical advice, cures. I think those are that's what I'm stating, right? Okay. So here's the thing though. If you're thinking about TRT, your functional medicine doctor is pushing you towards it, your biological doctor is pushing you towards it, don't do it. In my opinion, don't do it unless you've done all the other things first. Because what they don't tell you is that you're never getting back, if you're in your later years, you're never getting back your own testosterone levels most likely. And there are side effects to these things as well. So in the future, 65 plus, again, that's not what I'd be doing. But again, then I can say, okay, maybe small dosages. We'll talk about what to do 65 plus in the future.